Hi, I just sent you a couple of mock-ups in your client portal to have a look at on your website. But I know that just looking at a flat image isn't quite the same as the full experience. So I'm going to demo where we're at this point on your website design, and this is for the landing page that we've been working on. So I'm going to go over to your page. And this is the overall look as you come in on the page. I'm actually going to refresh this because this image back here actually has movement in it. When somebody first lands on your page, um, there's some actual visual movement that they're going to see. As you can see, the flowers kind of zooming out as the page loads. So that kind of gives the page a little bit of a movement feeling. We have our image or our buttons up here for navigation. And right now they're going to be very limited because, as we discussed, this is just going to be a temporary landing page. Certainly, once things are in order and we launch the full website, these are all going to change because we're going to have the different areas of service that you guys are going to be doing, as well as the integration with the booking, scheduling, and all of that. So that a lot of that will take the place of your main navigation up here. But for now, for pre kickoff on the full site, I've gone ahead and put some call to action buttons up here. I don't normally make these quite as big, but since we want to encourage people to join your mailing list, to follow you on Facebook, to find you on Instagram, I actually made the typeface a little bit bigger than I normally do on the secondary header bar up here. But then this is just the opening for the home page. As we scroll, we talk about your mission first and foremost, and then we get into the different services that your center is going to offer. I didn't want to put all of them on here, and you may want to switch these around based on what you would like to make more prominent. But I just pulled the ones that I thought would be things that you would want to make more prominent and put them in here. And then I put the rest that were on some of the paperwork that you had sent me to work from down here in a secondary bar underneath them. So if you don't like the 8 services that we've put in here, feel free to switch those up. As you can see, each one of these has a little bit of movement as well on scroll over. I envision that once the main site launches, when you click on one of these, it's going to take you to the corresponding page for that particular area. And then we get into the sign up form for the newsletter, because I know that's going to be real important to get that newsletter list growing. And it is working. It does currently work. It does currently feed right into your MailChimp backend. I've tested it several times. And if you go back to the top here, if you click on this or you were to click on join our mailing list, you'll see how the page scrolls down right to that, so people can jump right to the sign up form. After the sign up form, we talk about the center, and this is where we went ahead and put in the architectural 3D renderings that you had sent over. So I've kind of broke it down by the different areas that you talk about in the copy that you sent me. And actually, we left the watermark on here. It's really not, it doesn't look that bad. It's nice and subtle. When somebody clicks on the picture, they can get a much bigger view, kind of give them an idea of what things are going to look like. And then we talk about the different amenities you're going to have. And then we have a banner. I did this in a contrasting green. I didn't want everything to be all purple, but at the same time, I played around with the colors in your logo to see what items worked well together, because obviously I pulled the purple out of your logo as the main color and then did variations in different shades of that purple to make up the rest of the site. But I played with different colors. I played with the purple and the blue and the purple and the yellow, and the one that really popped was the purple and the green. So for any small call outs or anything like that, I've given them that green color. So that's just a banner announcing that you guys are going to be opening in this fall, actually. And then we go down to community involvement. This was the chakra image I told you about, which I thought was really cool. I just thought it was neat the way that you guys described all of the what the different colors meant to me. So So I went and did a little research myself. So that's a little chakra wheel. And that could even link to a page where maybe we talk about those things. I know you and I had talked about maybe doing a blog post um, about that, and we could even link that. So when somebody clicks on it, it goes to that particular blog post. And then, of course, we could always change this out as blog posts change, or you want to highlight something different. Maybe eventually put a map in here to where the center is going to be. But for now, that's filler. And then this is just a preview of the message from our founder page. So when people see this, they can just read a preview of what Dr. Maria said, and then they can click to read more. And I'll show you that page shortly. And then the next section is going to be the article and news feed that we spoke about. So the way this will work right now, the only article I have in here is a press release that you had sent me. But there'll actually be 3, maybe 6, depending on how many you want to put on the front page. I wouldn't put any more than 6. 3 is probably optimal. We could go 6 if you'd rather have 6 on there. But as you make new blog posts or new press releases in the back end, this one will move over to the next position, and the newest one will be in the first position, and the one that was in this position will move to the third position, and the one that was in the third position will drop off. So they will constantly rotate out with the newest post or press release showing up first. And then, of course, when people click on it, I'll go ahead and click over. It will take you to that particular page. And this gives you an idea of the header of the interior pages. This is going to be common across all the pages. Again, we have the calls to action to get people to follow you or sign up. They're pretty prominent up there. And then we have our main navigation so people can skip around to different areas of the site. Even though it is a one-page site, technically we do have some interior pages that we want people to be able to get to. But this is what an interior page would look like as far as a blog post or a press release would go. It currently does have that sidebar. The sidebar would show like the 5 most recent posts to the blog. It would also have an archives area, which would archive by month. That could be turned on or turned off depending on whether or not you want to do it that way. And then you can break things down into categories. And I think we had talked about categories being like a category for press releases, a category for maybe yoga, categories based on the different areas that you guys are going to be covering in your center. So that'd be a good way to break your categories down. Now, some people don't like to have the sidebar. Some people just like to have the page be the entire article. We could do that as well, and then we could put your categories down in the common footer down here, maybe taking the place of this here so that people could jump to different categories. And that's a really nice look without a sidebar altogether. If you wanted to maybe explore that option, I could do this page as a mock-up to show you what it would look like without the sidebar. And that's just something that's newer and more modern that people are getting into, especially given the fact that people are looking at these things on their mobile devices more. They really like to see everything just really streamlined without being broken like that. So something to think about. So scrolling back to the front page again, because we kind of got off track. Okay, so we're down into the articles feed here. And then we get into the footer area. And right now I've just put some placeholder text in there. Obviously, you're going to definitely want to have your location and your phone number in the footer. I put all of your page links that are up in your main nav bar here. And for now, I just have, I think it's 3. It'll show the 3 most recent news and articles. And this area here is going to be common across every single page on the website. So it's what we call the footer area, and it tends to be common for all pages. So going back to the message from our founder, if you click on that, that will take us to the page with the, well, technically it's supposed to take us to that page. Okay, I need to recode it there. This is the message from our founder page. And I'm just waiting for that picture from you of Dr. Maria. And I know you haven't taken it yet, but that you're going to. But this is, oh, and this is a good example of what I'm talking about, where everything goes across, straight across the page, as opposed to having, a sidebar. And that's because this isn't actually a blog post. This is an actual page of the website. But this is similar to what you could have a blog post look like if you decided to get rid of uh, the sidebar. And we can discuss the pros and cons of that. But this is the message from the founder page. And I took two photographs that didn't make it onto the front page of the 3D renderings, and I put them on the this page here, just so that we could use them. And then this is the letter that Dr. Marie had sent. Um, you and I had discussed maybe taking the about the name section and turning it into a blog post. And I didn't do that. I kind of went back and forth, and I thought it was a good idea at the time when we spoke as well. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's probably better to leave it on here, mainly because it doesn't really fit in a category of your blog post. You want your articles area to be very categorized, and I'm just not real sure how you would categorize something like this. It's not really news, it's not a press release, and it's certainly not an area of service. So that's kind of why I left it here. This, of course, could be changed if you didn't want to do that. But she did have it in her original letter in this area. So I just left it here. And this is just a stylized version of the ohm symbol, which I'm sure you'll recognize. It's a little more modern than probably some of the ones you've seen. So I don't know whether you guys like that or not, but I did put that in there to kind of add a little bit of, you know, graphical elements to the page. The articles section, of course, is currently not working because we don't have any blog posts yet. I'm still waiting on those from you. So as soon as we get those, we'll start seeing a feed into this page of articles. And then the news and press releases, when you click on that, that is going to take you to a page that looks like this. And, certainly if we had more than one, another one would be stacked next to it, and then more would be underneath it. But right now we only have the one. But this is just a page that only pulls up things that are in the press release categories. So that will fill up as more come in. And then the contact us page is a simple form that people can fill out just to get in touch with you. It is set up, it does work. I will have it feeding to your email address once this goes live. Right now I have it feeding to my email address because I'm doing testing on it. But yeah, let me go ahead and fill it in just so you can get an idea of how it works. Test, send a message, and then it says, thank you for filling out our form. Someone will be in touch shortly. And when it does that, it sends the email that you and I had talked about, the autoresponder. It sends that directly to the person that filled out the form. And it sends you, or it will be sending you, an email letting you know that somebody filled out the form and giving you all of their contact information. So at this point, this is where we're at. I know you were interested in, see, oh, sorry, that's our not live yet screen. So, oops. So let me go back to what will be our home page. And there you can see it loading again. It's loading fairly slowly because I'm recording at the same time. It actually loads a little quicker, but my computer is getting bogged down by me video recording while the page is loading. So you're probably going to see that load a little quicker on your side of things. So that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Look over everything. Give me some feedback. Let me know, what you would like to change, what you don't like, what you do like. I'm really anxious to go live for you guys. So yeah, that's it. All right. Thanks.